By the time March 3rd, 2020 came around, my wife, Mary, and I were very anxious to meet our baby. We had experienced a false alarm a few days earlier on February 29th. Mary had bled earlier that day, but our midwife, Afua, sent us home again that time too. She recommended we do some walking, so Mary and I walked in the park across the street. It was full of people since it was Super Tuesday, and folks were waiting in line to vote. We went back to our midwife later in the evening, but still the baby was not coming. Our midwife recommended taking an herbal supplement that might help move things along, and we agreed. She told us it could take 2 doses, but we would start with just 1. She also warned that it takes time to have the desired effect, so we might show up in the middle of the night. She recommended we get some rest and sent us home. I personally tried to stay chill because the previous false alarms taught me to not get my hopes up. We got some Whataburger and went home. As we ate, we watched The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Mary started to experience contractions again, but like I said, not getting my hopes up. One of the trickier things to manage as the partner of a pregnant person is not overreacting to every groan, moan, or cry of your partner. Discomfort and pain are just part of the process of growing a baby, and being on high alert for each one only serves to mentally exhaust you. So, when Mary said she felt tightness, I didn't think much of it. Mary groaned, grabbed on her belly, and tried to stretch it out. And I watched Colbert as I enjoyed my burger. I was trying to wind down for bed. At the afternoon visit we had with Afua, she warned us to get some rest. Mary took a nap, but I took advantage of the alone time and played Hollow Knight on my Nintendo Switch. This was a grave mistake. I would need that sleep later. As I calmly ate my burger, Mary went to the restroom, still crying out in discomfort. Once in the restroom, the crying out intensified. I got up to check on her, and Mary was on her knees. She leaned forward, holding her butt just barely off the floor. I asked her, "Should I call Afua?" Mary replied, I decided that would be the last question I asked Mary. I'm not a very decisive person, but in that moment, I did decide that tonight there was no room for indecision. I just needed to act. No more questions. I pulled my phone out of my pocket, typed AF into my contacts, and tapped on Afua. When she answered, I caught her up. Afua asked to speak with Mary. I didn't think this would be possible, but I also knew I could not describe what Mary was feeling. I walked back to the bathroom and told Mary Afua wanted to talk with her. Mary replied, "Okay!" Before I could pull the phone from my face, Afua said, "Never mind, I can hear her. Bring her." A few days earlier with the false alarm, I had gotten into my baby's birth outfit, brushed my teeth, combed my hair, and was 100% ready. This time, I had not showered that day, I had an old t-shirt on, and was much less in the baby is coming mindset. Mary is the queen of planning, though, so our birth bag was still ready to go. I grabbed it, helped Mary down the stairs, and drove us to Afua's. We got to Afua's, and Afua got right to work. She sat Mary on the bed and began to talk her through the process. I sat in a rocking chair across the bed. As I watched them sit together, I thought to myself, if Mary could take pictures right now, she definitely would be taking non-stop pictures. Often, I'm a bit annoyed at how frequently I am the subject of Mary's pictures and how frequently I am asked to take pictures of her. In this moment, though, I knew I had to get over myself and take some pictures. If these moments passed and there were no pictures of it, my wife would be devastated. I pulled my phone out to take a picture. I quickly realized that I was not as calm as I tried to convince myself. My hands are naturally unsteady, and in that moment, there was no possible way to keep them steady. I was, in fact, not calm. I had adrenaline running through me. I was nervous and a bit scared of the unknown that faced me. I clumsily tapped the picture button and took one terrible picture out of focus picture. I put my phone away. If all I was going to do was take out of focus terrible pictures, then it wasn't going to happen. At some point, Afua had offered Mary the option of getting into the tub of water commonly used for giving birth with midwives. As midnight came and went, the dream of posting, "It really was a Super Tuesday," along with a picture of our new baby died, along with the dream of a February 29th baby we thought we'd have just days earlier. It was officially March 4th. Mary was in the water, and I knelt down next to her. I began trying to soothe her with my touch. I would remind her to drink water. I would pour water over her back and shoulders. And sometime, nearing 3 a.m., I saw a swirl of water come from Mary. Her water broke. I went to find Afua. It was finally happening. I also texted Andy, our doula/photographer, to come. I was so excited. Any minute, I would meet my baby. Now, from this point, I don't really remember the precise order of events, but Andy arrived, and I met her at the door. I remember Mary mentioning she was feeling overwhelmed by people. There were only 2 of us there. So I told Andy it would be best to be present but distant. Andy understood perfectly and began her role seamlessly. Immediately, she took over the responsibility of refilling Mary's water cup. I was so grateful for that. I did not at all like leaving Mary's side for anything, but kept doing it to refill the water. Having Andy there for those types of things was a huge blessing. We spent some more time in the tub, but every time Mary would push, we wouldn't get a baby. Eventually, Afua pulled Mary out of the water. We would then try to bring the baby into the world in all sorts of positions. On the bed? Nope. On your knees? Nope. Crouching down, holding the doorknobs? Nope. The toilet? Hell no! I'm grateful the toilet didn't work. It was the only place we tried that I felt strange about. Then Afua mentioned the birthing stool. This was going to be the one. But not before switching back to the bed where I first saw my baby's hair. Not before walking around more. Not before going back to the bed again and having Afua almost take us to the hospital. This went on for hours. I began to regret skipping the nap to play video games. I had crossed the line of 24 hours awake. The sun had come up, and we were approaching an afternoon baby on the day after we first arrived to deliver the baby. During these hours, Afua offered a second dose of herbal supplement. This would eventually be the key that got the baby moving. On our second time around using the birthing stool, the baby finally got on board and started to crown. I yelled out to Mary, "We can really see the baby's head now!" I had to stress really because we had been seeing the baby's head for hours, but this time it was poking out beyond Mary's body for the first time. Afua was telling Mary we needed one more push to get this baby out, but insisted that Mary needed to see her first. She asked for a phone and literally got on the floor under my wife to take a picture of her vagina using one of her staff's phone. I actually have no idea what happened to that photo. My wife's vagina with my baby's head coming out of it is just floating around on some person's phone now. Mary was not interested in looking at pictures, and that was quite clear as she replied to Afua in a short and annoyed tone, "I see it!" Seconds later, at 10:56 a.m., Mary would push again, and my baby's face popped out for the first time. I froze. It was amazing. I mean, up until then, like everyone else that wasn't Mary, I had only ever experienced the baby's kicks and punches from inside my wife. But now, a little baby face was plain to see right in front of me. I was in awe until I heard, "Are you going to catch this baby?" I had told Afua that the only request I had for the birth was to catch the baby. Mary had explained to me that at the birth of our older kid, the hospital immediately took the baby away and then had all sorts of relatives hold the baby before Mary. She was not going to let that happen again. It was one of the many reasons we did not want to use a hospital for this birth. Well, knowing this, I committed to not asking to hold the baby until Mary was ready to allow others to do so. Mary would be fully in charge of that decision. And because of this, I knew the only way I could guarantee holding my newborn quickly was to catch the baby and then hand the baby to Mary myself. I was so wrapped up in staring at the baby's face, I nearly forgot. "Are you going to catch this baby?" Those words just snapped me back to reality, and I extended my arms under Mary. She pushed one last time, and the rest of that little body fell into my arms. It was the most powerful moment of my life. I was again immediately awestruck. Mary was asking me something, but I didn't know what it was until she reached down, looked between the baby's legs, and said, "It's Amelie. Her name is Amelie. Thank you."
All right, give it up for Bryan. Yeah, stories like that just reaffirm my decision to not have children. I don't know how you birthing people can keep just popping them out like that. It is traumatic and weird, and I guess not weird, but it's something else, I tell you that. My kid was a surprise, but by night I'm a cross-dresser. By day I'm a hairdresser. I know, big stretch. And so lots of my clients are always like, "Yeah, and the baby this, and this happened to my body afterwards." And I was like, what? That is not what I saw with Dr. Huxtable growing up. I don't know what we're talking about or what is happening or why all these fluids are coming out, but, I guess life will keep life in. Yeah, so babies. Who has one? Who wants one? Who doesn't want babies? All right. Oh, congratulations. No one gives a shit. Just kidding. We care. We do care. That is wonderful. Congratulations. Where's the wife? Is she here?
No, she's at rehearsal.
Oh, I thought you. Well, congratulations to them. Wonderful. How far along are y'all? Awesome. You're going to make a great dad. All right. Well, congratulations. Okay, moving right along with that. Who's ready for another story? All right. Story number 7 on tonight's grown-up story time. Best of season 15. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. I'm here all night, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Story number 7 is Schrodinger's Toast. Written... Oh, I'm just trying to wrap this up. I'm hungry. That Whataburger earlier got me thinking about some food. All right. And story number 6. Staples in my head and a song in my heart. Written by Astrid and read by Dusty Rhodes. Give it up for Dusty.